My name is Chance Northington, and I'm 14 years old. Well, I started getting involved in the FAC program when I was about 12, and that's when we used to just come to the center right after school, just to avoid going home. I feel like the FAC program and Jammin Hoopsfest was basically kept me away from the drama that goes on around here. Drama as in fighting, shooting, and all the violence for no reason over stupid stuff. If it wasn't for FAC, I probably would have been one of those drug abusers or drug dealers.
Hi, my name is Austin Buckley, I'm 15. I started getting involved in FAC because I heard it helped troubled kids like me and helped me get out of lifestyles that I used to go into. And with FAC, it kind of helps me take what I learned at FAC and apply it to my life. I've always played basketball, and I heard they had a Hoopsfest coming around, and I just started joining that. Well, I started slanging, and I started smoking weed at 10. I started picking up cigars at 11. Started gangbanging, just a lot of bad things. And I kind of hit that breaking point in my life, and I kind of needed something else to push me. FAC was the thing that kind of pushed me a little bit more to stray away from that. The FAC program stopped existing, and then we couldn't get new people in and to be able to change their lives. I just changed mine.
It all started, Weldon Cuban and I were talking, and I talked about a program that another guy that I worked with on the patrol did several years back that involved midnight basketball. And we were talking about just trying to get together and try to come up with something to where we could do something for kids on the east side, kind of change the perspective that they had about law enforcement. So we kind of put our heads together and started talking about it, and kind of recruited people to just come out, volunteer some time. We didn't have a lot of stuff when we started this whole deal. In fact, we didn't have anything. We got people to donate the basketball goals, the basketballs. We started this deal on Thursdays, and you know, the basketball was more or less the hook just to get them in. And we wanted someone that would come in and bring a positive message and just talk to these kids about goals that they have for themselves and things that they want to do. I mean, over the years, we started getting more and more people to volunteer. We started getting more and more people to sponsor. And I mean, you see what it's turned into. You know, everybody that's out here that's a volunteer, volunteers time. And we all try to set good examples. We all try to be mentors and just be positive people.
One of the things that we tried to do was I was big on making sure the kids had something to eat. And one of the reasons for that is I grew up about 6 blocks from here on 41st and Everest. And I remember walking over here to the swimming pool and swimming in and walking back home and having stuff to do in the summertime. But I also remember there were times in my neighborhood where kids who had been getting free and reduced breakfasts and lunches didn't have food to eat and were hungry. Sometimes it was my own family. And we had basketball coaches that came from the school my kids go to. Some of the high school kids would come and coach. And then it began to spread. And then the kids began to buy into Thursday night at the Northeast Community Center as Hoopfest night. And as we've been here, we've seen kids come with the shirts that we handed out the very first year. They still have them. They're sort of like a badge of honor. I was here at the very first Hoopfest. And then we see them come with the ones we handed out last year or the year before that. And we've seen these kids grow up, and they've had an opportunity to interface with the police officers, the sheriff's department, and the highway patrol. And I think that's critical. When we talk about some of the problems that we have with, you know, law enforcement and our kids in the community, it really helps for our kids to interface with law enforcement in a positive way and for law enforcement to do the same.
If the FAC program were not around, or the Jammin Hoops weren't around on Thursdays, I think it would have a pretty big impact on not just the kids, but the people that are involved with it as well. I mean, you know, the FAC program, as far as the kids here on the east side, I mean, I think that it has done so much for a lot of these kids on the east side. Lieutenant Cuba does a tremendous job reaching out, relating to these kids, and not just him, but his staff as well.
You know, I can't even fathom that, because, you know, we've been doing it so long, and it's had such a positive impact on our family and also the kids here. And one of the reasons is I watched my children interface with other kids from different ages, different backgrounds, and different perspectives, and it's made a difference in how they view the world and themselves. And it also has been very important to them to understand that you have a role in your community, and that doesn't take a whole lot of money, it doesn't take a whole lot of, you know, of stuff. It takes time, and it takes your effort and a commitment. I think the other lesson that's important for the kids is that they can go to a place once a week where they have food, where they're safe, they can play, they can be kids without a lot of the things and the baggage that they have maybe somewhere else besides Jammin Hoopsfest or in the FACT program. So I can't fathom what would happen if it's gone. I know what was going on before it started. Lieutenant Cubitt has had stats on the fact that on Thursday nights in Northeast Oklahoma City, the crime rate is lowered in this area.
Yeah. Since I've been in law enforcement, I've always enjoyed working with young people. I think that, you know, that is truly where you can make the difference, because people that are our age, a little bit older, whatever, they already have a certain mindset. You know, there's not a whole lot you can do to change that. But as these kids come up, you know, start young with them, they don't really know. And whatever impression you can make on them, especially if it's a positive impression, there is no telling how you may influence that young person to follow their dreams, do whatever, change their behavior so that it conforms to where they won't be getting in trouble, doing things that they shouldn't be doing, things like that. So, you know, I try to set a good example. I try to be positive around them, and try to be an encourager.